to the November 17th general session of the Board of Commissioners of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. We will begin this morning's meeting, but please remember that this is a public meeting and therefore it's being recorded. We kindly ask that you maintain the same level of decorum as if this were a meeting in public. And finally, for those of you that are calling in by phone, if you would please remember to mute your line by pressing *6. I'd like to begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led this morning by Commissioner Boyce.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. And now I need an approval of the minutes of the September 29th, 2020 general session, the November 12th, 2020 briefing session, and the November 9th, 2020 administrative briefing.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. Thank you.
All right. And then to our first agenda item, the Board of Commissioners.
Pardon me. Resolution number 793-20. Resolution establishing racial equity as a core principle of the Board of Commissioners.
All right. We have some guests with us this morning. We have President Nana Watson of the oldest and boldest NAACP in the United States from Columbus NAACP. We have Trudy Bartley, Associate Vice President of Local Government and Community Relations with State University. We have Courtney Kerrigan, CEO and Executive Trainer for Raising the Bar Performance Group, LLC. And Carolina Trinidadji. Did I say that correctly, Carolina?
Trinidadji.
Trinidadji, there you go. That's the first time I've had the pleasure of saying your name. I've met you before, at least virtually, if nothing else. Trinidadji, Carolina is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Administrator for Franklin County Department of Human Resources. Welcome this morning to our honored guests. I'm sorry, Dean, you did read the resolution into the record.
Yes,
so
Commissioner.
Let's begin this morning with President Watson.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning from the oldest and boldest civil rights organization in the world, Commissioner Grady, not America, the world. You're NAACP. The NAACP stands in agreement and approves the Franklin County Racial Equity Core Principle. The principle aligns with the 6 NAACP game changers designed to address the major areas of inequity facing Blacks. Both the racial equity core principles and the game changers of the NAACP provides focus, clarity, and strategic direction for the work that needs to be done to dismantle racism, create policies, practices, procedures, and partnerships that benefit Franklin County residents. We look forward to our continued partnership in building equitable communities for Black residents to thrive in. Lastly, your NAACP salutes you for putting words into action when you declared racism as a public health crisis. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and be well.
Okay. Courtney?
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Great.
So I don't have anything to say. Once Nana Watson approved this, then it's all good with me. She speaks for me and she speaks for my people. I am ecstatic that the commissioners since the Poverty Blueprint have been the leaders in recognizing that racial equity is the root, is something that we had to take care of. So I am always in awe of you. Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce, congratulations. on winning. Thank God that we get to have you leading the way with Commissioner Brown and continuing this work for our county. I'm ecstatic. I think that this is hard work. I think we have a lot of systems to dismantle, and we need champions. We need titans who are willing to set a strong, firm, deep foundation that will not shake, rattle, or come down when the winds of when our adversaries, when people who don't want these systems to be dismantled start to blow. So I am just grateful to Franklin County and all of the directors and employees of Franklin County. We've had some amazing training sessions and conversations. This is going to be a long haul. This is a long road, but I am confident that the three commissioners, Nana Watson, Trudy Bartley, Deputy Director, am I saying it right? Deputy Director Bivens, the right people, the right team, the right champions are on board. And I cannot shut my mouth without saying thank you to Ken Wilson, Administrator Wilson, for being a visionary and a thought partner that knew what the commissioners wanted and that started to put the right people in place to make it happen. So thank you, Franklin County. Thank you for what you're doing for me as a resident of this county. And I look forward to our continued work together.
Carolina?
Good morning, Commissioners. Carolina Trendaji, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Administrator. I will say that it is a beautiful day to be Team Franklin County. I actually don't know if it's sunning out, but it sure feels like it is today. And I know one thing about when we make powerful statements like racial equity being a core principle, that we're not just about the powerful symbolism of it. So when I hear something like that, I know that there is work to be done. And we are excited for our next steps. And we're so grateful that you continue to be the driving force for this work. Our next step is we're going to be operationalizing our racial equity lens and engaging all of our Board of Commissioner agencies in this work. We're looking for alignment, we're looking for structure, because we know that's how we're truly going to get real change in our culture and our systems. And that's what this is about. It's not a short-term fix. We are in it for the long haul. And I'm so grateful for you, your leadership, county administration, our partners, President Watson. This is a beautiful day, and we're so excited for what this means for us. It really speaks for the heart of every resident every day. And we're looking forward for next steps, and we're committed to the goal.
Thank you. I don't believe Trudy Bartley from Ohio State's with us today. Okay. Well, thank you to everybody for being with us today. This is a great day. Commissioners, do you guys have anything you want to add? Or Deputy Administrator?
Commissioner O'Grady, I'm sorry, just real quick. It does look like Trudy has signed in.
Oh, wonderful. Trudy Bartley from Ohio State. Do you have anything you'd like to add, or would you like to collect your thoughts first and allow, County Administrator or Deputy County Administrator Bivens, do you guys have anything you'd like to add?
I just really want to, okay, go ahead, boss, I'm sorry.
No, ladies first.
I just really want to, again, thank the commissioners, thank the team for working on this. It's one thing to put a resolution out, to declare a thing. It's another thing to put infrastructure in place so that the work is mobilized, it's infused into the system so that we can change the system. When you declare racism a public health crisis, on that day, I sat back and as I watched you all, I said, what would it have been like 300 years prior had leaders stepped up and did the right thing, or 50 years prior, or 400 years prior, as you all have done? And you're not doing it in word, you're doing it in deed and holding us accountable to what you say is important and what is important to this community. So I commend you, commissioners, I commend the team, and I am really looking forward to this work getting infused into our system so that we can continue to create an equitable system for everybody.
Good morning,
Morning.
Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce, and Commissioner Brown. I was just going to be a spectator today, but It has been such an honor to work with you, work with your great staff on number one, the Rise Together Blueprint, and now with my co-chair, Matt Habash, with the Rise Together Innovation Center. I'm seeing around the county a real change due to the declaration of racism being a health crisis. And I'm particularly seeing it at the place that I work, at The Ohio State University. We have really embraced this. You can see that through the anti-racism action plan that Wexner Medical has put together, that they are actually implementing, that they began in June. And with our transition to a new president, Christina Johnson, she has really wanted this land-grant university to be the leader in being an anti-racist institution. So I want to thank you for the journey that we've been on to really impact change within our community. And again, it has been a pleasure and an honor to be able to serve the people of Franklin County at your request. So thank you for all that you do and will continue to do for Franklin County. And thank you for allowing me to be a part.
Administrator Wilson.
Thank you, President O'Grady. I just want to add, I agree with everything that's been said here, but I appreciate the leadership of the board to allow bold proposals such as this to even be considered, and not only allow declarations and statements of intent such as this, but to ask for actions attached to it that can be evaluated over time, and county administration can use that to bring policies forward in line with your core principles. This is really going to be a big deal. We, as a county, we spent significant time developing the set of core principles, and to put racial equity right in there with community safety and security, job creation and economic development, support of health and human services, environmental sustainability, et cetera, in place. And for this to be cemented, this is one of those steps of diversity and inclusion being a part of Franklin County's DNA that will outlast any of us, and it be a part of the fabric of Franklin County as a governmental entity. And everything that's in the poverty blueprint, the Rise Together Blueprint, 10 action steps in the declaration of racism as a public health crisis, 4 concrete actions that are attached to this resolution here: disrupting poverty by seeking to proactively advance racial equity, collaborating with residents and community partners and institutions to promote racial equity in areas of government, education, criminal justice, etc. And you all as a board are conveners and are able to collaborate and bring things forward like this, and it's spread throughout the entire community. County commissioners have a unique ability to do that, to convene and bring people together on proposals such as this. And lastly, Carolina's role, the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion will be focused on these last 3 points: committing to create and sustain an organizational culture that applies equity principles in order to end disparities in hiring and promotion. That is going to be a key goal to monitor. And then lastly, increasing opportunities in contracting and access to funding for minority businesses. All of that is a big deal for us to be able to monitor as we progress forward. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Commissioner Brown and Boyce.
Let me go, or you want to go? I defer to you, Commissioner Brown.
I just wanted to add to that. I think the foundational principles of this resolution make a great deal of sense as we look at the poverty blueprint. This is clearly building the foundation that will outlast any board of commissioners that we have now. And I think that's what this is all about, putting in place those building block foundational pieces that will outlast any of us, so that the county and our residents will have this for the long haul, so that we can continue to grow and change as the county grows and changes. This is what we need to move forward. Racial divisions have been part of the community for so long and have been part of our country for so long that we have to start now. We could have started this 30 years ago, 300 years ago, whatever. We have to start somewhere. And this is such an important step of action, of many actions that will help us get to someplace better for our residents. And having that solid foundation underneath with a core principle such as this gets us to a better place. And I'm so grateful that I am serving on this board with great staff working with us, and the consultants working with us, that we can do the work that will get us to a better place in this community. It's so critically important. So I am grateful and honored to be with this board at this time.
Commissioner Grady? Yeah. Okay, thank you. I want to also just join the accolades of everyone with regard to what this really means. A declaration and resolution says a couple of things. It speaks to our value set as a county, but also as a community. And when we declare that racial equity is something that is part of our core principles, that is something that should reverberate throughout our organization. It's something that should be embedded in everything that we do, from the Department of Aging to our jail system. We have to begin to embed these practices into our work. And so the statement is important, and the resolution is crucial to the broader conversation. But also want to just point out and emphasize some of the things that the resolution highlights as areas that really need to be addressed. There are some people who I know, because I get letters and inboxes all the time of people asking me this, and not everyone agrees that this is a core value or principle set that's needed. And believe me, I hear from those folks who don't agree. But when you look at our employment statistics, when you look at our contracting statistics, our housing data, health disparities, criminal justice system, and bless you, and I can go on and on and on, it suggests that we've got very serious work to do in ensuring that racial equity is applied in everything we do, that the darkness and the stench of racism itself is something, in order for it to be eliminated, it has to be something that every day in everything we do, we work to chip away at. And that's what I believe this resolution does. It's a value set that says to everybody, not just for the BOC, because we tend to focus on what is under the purview of the Board of Commissioners. But we represent Franklin County, and we represent the 1.3 million residents that live here. And I believe deeply in my heart that they agree with us on this value and principle set. And so this statement, this step is but of one action. But these areas that I just outlined, that are outlined in the resolution, the real measure of our work will come in the statistical change that we're able to create in addressing these issues long term. And so I'm really thrilled and excited that I work with two colleagues that really not just understand the importance of it, but it's their personal value set. And that's the difference in policy making. You know, it's easy to see something that's a good policy decision, but it's a different thing when you personally believe it too. And so I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'm grateful that I've got colleagues that understand and value that. And then I'm also grateful for folks like Administrator Wilson, Deputy Administrator Bivens, and Long, and Janice, and the folks over at the Innovation Hub with Trudy Bartley and Matt Habash. I'm grateful that we have a team of people who are working every day to ensure that racial equity is a core value, not just of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, but for Central Ohio.
Thank you. A couple things. One is, I have a mask. I'm constantly trying to get people to wear masks, and I have a mask that says racism is a public health crisis. I also have a mask that says wear a damn mask. But I have a mask that says racism is a public health crisis. And whenever I wear it, I get questions. Sometimes I wear it in places that I know it's going to make people uncomfortable, and I wear it on purpose. But I think maybe when we order, it's time to order some new Franklin County masks that have our core principles on it, that loudly and boldly pronounces that racism is one of our core principles. But one of the things that I'm most proud of is that over the 12 years that I've been a county commissioner, and thankfully now the voters have elected Kevin and I again, and we get to be county commissioners for another term. But one of the things that I'm most proud of is that we have a reputation that when we create policies, we don't just put them on a shelf. We, as Joy said earlier, we don't just create policies that are just statements of policy and they just sit around. We never do that, ever. We don't create a poverty blueprint that has goals and action steps that don't get accomplished. We don't have a list of core principles that we put on a plaque on a wall and then don't abide by them. We don't ever do that. And the folks that know us and our colleagues around the state and around the country know that that's not who we are, and that's not the way we operate. And so when we do things like this, it matters. And so, in the 12 years that I've been on the board, and 14 years that Marilyn's been on the board, and then the 4 years that Kevin's been on the board, we don't do this. When we create a statement of public policy, when we pass resolutions, they matter. And so this statement of public policy and this folks know and understand, that's our reputation. And so the fact that we have made racism a core principle of Franklin County matters. And all of our colleagues across the state and across the country and the residents of this community know that it matters because that's our reputation. So I think it's time for a motion.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got to pull it. If there are no comments or questions, it's my honor. And what's the resolution number? I'm looking at which one?
793-20, Commissioner.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
By the way, we should remember this because this is one of those red letter numbers, 68706. This is one of those red letter numbers that we should. We should memorialize 793-20.
793-20.
It's my great honor and pleasure to move for passage or adoption of Resolution 793-20.
And I will second it.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 793-20 has been adopted by the board.
Administrator Wilson, can we get public affairs team to look into lapel pins or bumper stickers or something like that say 720 on them?
We own that.
Great idea, John.
Courtney's smiling because we were talking about that some weeks ago. Yeah, we own it. Right. We'll get it out.
Something, whatever it is, coffee mugs, I don't care. I want something that I can have.
Something, anything.
We'll get on it.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, to the Court of Common Pleas. And sorry for everybody on the remainder of today's agenda. That was important. That was significant. And I'm glad we took as much time as we did this morning on that issue. To the Court of Common Pleas.
Resolution number 795-20, resolution authorizing consulting service for the virtual desktop infrastructure review in the amount of $7,875.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Pfeiffer, IT Director with the Court of Common Pleas General Division. And with me virtually is Kimberly Canada, our Director of Finance.
Good morning, guys.
This resolution is for a consultant contract with Rolta Advisix Technologies to provide a court review of our virtual desktop infrastructure, which is deployed within the county's network. This aligns with industry standards and will review our newly deployed infrastructure to make sure it adheres to best practices, address any outstanding issues, and provide knowledge transfer to staff. Further, as the county is introducing a new multi-court case management system, this review will make sure our systems are capable of handling the new software when it arrives. The total of this contract is $7,875, and it is effective from contract approval through December 15th, 2020. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 795-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 795-20 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. The coroner.
Resolution number 796-20, resolution authorizing a transfer of general fund appropriations for temporary staffing and the purchase of medical supplies.
Sorry, I got lost. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Amanda Alvarez, the Director of Operations with the Forensic Science Center, representing Dr. Annie Ortiz. This resolution will authorize a transfer of general funds from the capital outlays to materials and services for utilization of additional medical supplies and for the remainder of this 2020 year, and then a part-time employee through a temporary employment agency. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 796-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 796-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The Sheriff's Department.
Resolution number 797-20, resolution supporting the Sheriff's Office to continue as lead agency in the countywide DUI task force and the approval of contracts with 19 member agencies participating on the countywide DUI task force in the amount of $224,754.02. Commissioners, I will note, I do not see Mr. Masterson on the call this morning. I'm not sure if anyone else from the Sheriff's Office is on.
Well, somebody want to reach out to Dave, and then we'll go on to the treasurer.
Thank you, sir. I apologize.
That's all right. Let's move on. Somebody reach out to Dave Masterson, and we'll one of the deputy administrators maybe, and we'll go on to the treasurer.
Thank you, sir. Resolution number 798-20, resolution authorizing a non-general fund supplemental appropriation for the Franklin County Land Bank.
Good morning, Commissioners. Elise Thomas, the Budget and Purchasing Coordinator for the Treasurer's Office. In an ongoing effort to provide support to the Central Ohio Community and Improvement Corporation, the Treasurer's Office is requesting a non-general fund supplemental appropriation in the amount of $124,098. COSIC works to reclaim, rehabilitate, and reutilize vacant, abandoned, tax foreclosed, or other real property within Franklin County. We request your approval.
Elise, is this a normal appropriation? Is this something that is new? I don't recall this.
Yes, last year we actually paid it out of this year's budget, but prior in 2017 and 2018, we did request the supplemental appropriations for this.
Got you. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 798-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 798-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, the Franklin County Data Center.
Resolution number 799-20. Resolution authorizing a contract with Intellinetics Incorporated to complete an assessment to migrate 4 applications to the Enterprise IntelliView imaging application in the amount of $13,520.
Good morning, Commissioners. Julie Lest, representing the Franklin County Data Center. This supplemental contract with Intellinetics is for engineering services to provide the data center requirements, a roadmap, and estimated costs to migrate 4 instances to the IntelliView imaging application. IntelliView is Franklin County's most used and most cost-effective imaging application. Thus, in line with our strategic initiative to reduce technical debt, we'll determine if it's feasible and cost-effective to move forward legacy or costly imaging instances to the centralized IntelliView application. The county has worked with Intellinetics for over 15 years. They're located here in Franklin County and have a contract with the state of Ohio. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 799-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 799-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Emergency Management Agency.
Resolution number 800-20. Resolution authorizing a contract with Innovative Emergency Management Incorporated for a regional threat and hazard identification and risk assessment plan in the amount of $97,836.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Young, representing Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security.
Morning.
This resolution is to authorize a contract for our regional threat and hazard identification and risk, the THIRA planning project. This project is funded through a state Homeland Security grant and is part of our regional award in which Franklin County serves as the coordinator and fiscal agent for the 15 counties that comprise Ohio Homeland Security Planning Region 4. Integrated Emergency Management was selected as the preferred vendor for 5 proposals as part of a competitive process managed by the Franklin County Purchasing Department and reviewed by the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. Integrated Emergency Management has previously provided planning for Region 4 as part of the 2017 Mass Fatality Planning Project, and the emergency management directors within Homeland Security Region 4 are looking forward to the kickoff meeting, which should occur virtually over the next 2 weeks, with the project performance period concluding in October of 2021. I'll gladly answer any questions and ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 800-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner,
Yeah.
you froze.
Oh. Yes. Can you see me now? Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, you're good. Thank you. Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Thank you. Moved.
How about me? Can I?
There we go.
You okay with that?
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bad.
Resolution number 800-20 has been adopted. I'll go ahead and grab the box from my office now. Moving on. Resolution number 801-20. Resolution authorizing a contract modification with Citizen Aid of North America Incorporated for the provision of the delivery and supply of patient treatment kits.
Commissioners, this resolution is a contract modification with Citizen Aid of North America, updating the pricing and product page to include an option for a smaller patient treatment kit that was not previously available as a purchase option under the original contract. This project is also a regional Homeland Security grant-funded project. Performance period, the not-to-exceed amount, and the terms of the contract are not being modified. Previously, we have placed 5 orders for the 6-unit patient treatment drop bags to be issued to public safety responders across the region, and to date, we have procured 823 of those drop bags resulting in 5,074 individual patient treatment kits being available throughout the region. As we approach the final order under this contract, we will be reviewing the most effective manner to have these kits available, either in drop bags with first responders or the smaller wall boxes installed at strategic locations. I'll gladly answer any questions and ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 801-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
and Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 801-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Director. Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 802-20. Resolution authorizing a COVID-19 response grant to Franklin County Stadium Incorporated in the amount of $3 million.
Commissioners, good morning. Director Jim Schimmer from Economic Development and Planning. First, I just want to thank you all on behalf of Economic Development and Planning for adopting 793-20 this morning. It's a great step forward, and we really appreciate it. My colleague, Zach Taleric, has been responsible for the first resolution that we have this morning, and I'd like to ask him to go ahead and go through it with you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Taleric with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution would provide a COVID-19 response grant to Franklin County Stadium, Inc. Franklin County Stadium, Inc. is a nonprofit county-owned corporation under the laws of the state of Ohio that operates Huntington Park. The county is in a unique position in that it is actually the holder of the franchise issued by the International League of Professional Baseball Clubs. So the county is the owner of the Columbus Clippers. This grant would provide resources to Stadium Inc. and the Clippers to help maintain payroll to cover costs from the loss of revenue during the season, from ticket sales and concessions, as well as make their lease payments in order to make the upcoming December 1st debt service payment. I'm not sure if Ken Schnocky was able to join on the call, but if not, pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Yeah, so Commissioner O'Grady, may I?
Please.
Thank you. So Zach, you're certain, you're certifying that these dollars can be used for these particular expenditures, given the restrictive nature of the funds?
We believe at this time, we have heard from other direct recipients who've used their CARES Act allocation in similar situations. We do have a request out to the Department of Treasury to confirm that. We sent that about a month ago. We did get a follow-up a couple weeks ago, but we still have not heard back. But based on what others have provided, we believe this should be eligible. If it's determined not, we do have other costs beyond our allocation, which we know would be unreimbursed that we could then substitute in the event it's ruled these would be ineligible. But based on the information of the guidance and what other entities have done, I think I'm comfortable that this would be eligible.
Honestly, I'm surprised by that, but so I'd like to stay in touch with. I'm going to trust this is your area of expertise, and I'm going to trust your guidance here. But this is quite surprising. But if you believe the guidelines give us this authority, I'm okay with that. But I'd like you to follow up with the board when we hear back from the Treasury about that, and then it leads to a sort of Part B question. And I was going to save this for the budget hearings, but since we're on this is perfect timing. How are we auditing the CARES Act funds that come in? I think there's a requirement for auditing, or they may audit us. And so what's our prep in terms of auditing just the fund of CARES Act funds, the CRF funds?
So depending on the type of expense, so the Office of Management and Budget has been working with the Auditor's Office as well as Franklin County Emergency Management. So as different expenses that are paid through invoice are being made, they're being identified by the agencies, collected by the Auditor's Office, and then shared with Emergency Management. Emergency Management is working with the Office of Management and Budget to identify what would be eligible under the FEMA Public Assistance Grant and what would be eligible under CARES Act. We're getting copies of those invoices, so we'll have the documentation there, which needs to be kept for 5 years. For payroll expenditures, we are keeping track of, the account trial balances for Munis based on public health and public safety expenditures. And then for the various grant payments, we are getting information. If it's through community partnerships, Dana is getting feedback from the agencies in terms of, with the Resilience Initiative, entering the information through EC Impact on their budget and kind of verifying those expenses, certifying that there's no duplication. I know Economic Development and Planning is getting kind of similar information with their grants, as well as Office on Aging. And then we're also working with some of the other agencies, such as Children's Services and ADAMH, to identify allocations to provide them during this fourth quarter as well in terms of providers' payments.
Mr. O'Grady, may I proceed with a couple more questions? Thank you. One, we can use CRF dollars for independent auditing services too, correct?
I believe that is the case, yes.
So I just would plant that seed because I really do think that given the transfer of administration that's going to happen in Washington, I think there will be a number of auditing issues in the first and second quarter of next year on CRF dollars just by virtue of the transfer of administration. So we might want to get ahead of that, or at least be thoughtful about that. And then finally, with the CRF dollars, I have to say I'm slightly uncomfortable on this because this is a new, my understanding of the guidelines. I'm surprised by your interpretation, but I am going to trust your and Director Schimmer's direction on this and vote in support of it. But I just want to be on the record to say I want follow-up, and I want to know that we get some kind of response either from the Treasury that it was okay, because if not, we will have to adjust this, and that's a big number to adjust.
Yep, definitely. I would agree. Yes, so we're hopeful that we'll get that information here soon from Treasury with that confirmation.
All right.
I think. Are you done, Kevin?
I looked like Administrator Wilson was going to say that, but I'm done. Thank you.
I had a comment to make. I think because we own this asset and have since the 1980s, and because we own the franchise of the team, we have an obligation to do something to help out. I'm hopeful that we can do it with this source of funds, but I do think we have an obligation to do something to help them out during this time. I know it could be a hardship to us to do it, but I think we have an obligation because they are ours. They are a part of us, and they have been for so long. I feel like we have a real moral obligation, but we have a financial obligation as well. And that translates into, hopefully we can do it with CARES Act dollars, but if we can't, I think we have to do something.
Ken, so we've owned the team since the mid-1970s. Ken, or how many employees do the Clippers have?
Right now, due to the furloughs that they've had to implement, I believe right now they have a staff of only 27.
170?
27.
27 at the moment, but they had to furlough. They had to furlough a number of people because of And I asked Ken this the other day. They're hoping to be able to bring those folks back on with these dollars.
Because unemployment, President O'Grady, the unemployment extension expired, of course, and now folks have a lot less resources that they had to be furloughed. So he would like to bring those folks back.
Yeah, exactly. And these are employees of the Columbus Clippers, not the ball players are employees of the Cleveland Indians, and those have nothing to do with these dollars. So this has nothing to do with the actual players. This is simply the employees of the Clippers. So, yeah,
correct. And because of the unique nature of the Clippers as an organization, that it is owned by the residents of Franklin County and managed by the county. The Columbus Clippers were not eligible for things such as the Paycheck Protection Program and some of the other CARES Act options that were available.
Gotcha. Yeah, so those are some of the reasons why this Kent or Zach and some of his folks believe that this is eligible for CARES Act dollars as well. Those are some of the qualifications as well. So, but yeah, this has been an asset, community asset for more than 45 years at this point. And so, not to mention the fact that it's, a valuable community asset. There's, this is, the Clippers are worth, a huge amount of money at this point. And so protecting that investment is a big deal, on top of the fact that, we're talking about employees' livelihoods and so it's a big issue. It's a big issue. So Zach, yeah, curious to know the answers to some of the questions.
Yeah.
The components are payroll for staff and the debt service on the county asset.
Exactly.
And it's an economic driver in the community as well. I just think it would be nice to know how we need to do this. And I think, Kevin, your questions are right on. I think we need to know.
Yes, I'm confident OMB and EDP be monitoring this closely. We've been the requirements of our expenditures with Treasury is an extensive process. So this would go into our next filing with U.S. Treasury.
Good. Okay.
Hear you loud and clear, Commissioners.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 802-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 802-20 has been adopted. Number 803-20, review of petition to annex 3.22 acres more or less from Pleasant Township to the Village of Harrisburg, case number ANX-27-20.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 3.22 acres from Pleasant Township to the Village of Harrisburg. The area to be annexed includes property located at 1062 School Street. That's east of School Street, north and west of Harrisburg Pike, and south of Interstate 71. Petition was filed by agent and attorney Istvan Gajeri of Peterson Connors LLP, who is in attendance should you have any questions, on behalf of the owner, the Southwestern City School District. 72% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with the Village of Harrisburg, and the village passed resolution numbers O-01-20 and O-02-20 on September 1st, 2020 and November 3rd, 2020, respectively, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved in a statement regarding incompatible land uses in the zoning buffer. Petition meets all the statutory requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code. And pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 803-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 803-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 804-20, review of petition to annex 58.3 acres, more or less, from Blendon Township to the City of Columbus, case number ANX-28-20.
Resolution is to consider, again, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 58.3 acres from Blendon Township to the City of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes property located at 4465 Catella Drive, Central College Road, 4577 Central College Road, 7350 Cubbage Road, and 7245 Lee Road. which is west of Lee Road, south of East Walnut Street, east of Cubbage, and north of Central College Road. Petition was filed by agent and attorney Eric Zartman of Underhill and Hodge, who is in attendance if you have any questions, on behalf of the owners, First Commonwealth Bank, Suzanne Gornell Trust, Glenn E. Gornell Trust, and Keith and Brenda Thatcher. 10.3% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with Columbus, and the city passed ordinance number 2370-2020 on October 26, 2020, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved, and a statement regarding incompatible land uses in the zoning buffer. Petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 804-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 804-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 805-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Megan Adams at 3544 Paxton Drive, Hilliard, Ohio 43026.
Madison Andrews, Admin Assistant for Economic Development and Planning. This homeowner received a home loan of $6,000 and they've met all the program requirements and all the taxes on the property are current. So we are requesting your approval on the discharge of mortgage instrument.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 805-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 805-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 806-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Diane Ledsome at 3729 Georgia Avenue, Columbus, Ohio 43219.
This homeowner received a home loan of $1,920. They've met all of our program requirements and all the property taxes are current. So we're requesting your approval on the discharge of mortgage instrument.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 806-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 806-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 807-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Faith Miller at 3475 Country View Drive, Canal, Winchester, Ohio 43110.
This property owner received a loan of $4,355. They've met all the program requirements and all the property taxes are current. So we request your approval for the discharge of mortgage instrument.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 807-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 807-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 808-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for David Lipinski at 2889 Sussex Place Drive, Grove City, Ohio 43123.
This property owner received a loan of $5,395. They've met all of our program requirements and the taxes on the property are current. So we are requesting your approval on the discharge of mortgage instrument.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 808-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 808-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 809-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Yuma Lyles at 3288 Sundale Road, Columbus, Ohio 43232.
This property owner received a loan of $1,787. They've met all of our program requirements and all their property taxes are current. So we request your approval for the discharge of mortgage instrument.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 809-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 809-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Commissioners.
you.
Thanks a lot, Madison. Fleet management.
Resolution number 810-20. Resolution authorizing a transfer of general fund appropriations for the purchase of capital equipment.
Morning, Commissioners. Charlotte Ashcraft, Director of Fleet Management. This resolution is requesting authorization to transfer appropriations from fuel to capital outlays. We are requesting these funds to purchase a heavy-duty mobile lift. Our fleet has approximately 20 specialty vehicles, which are heavy-duty. We have buses, armored cars, equipment trucks, cargo box trucks, various. None of the lifts we currently have are capable of picking these vehicles up. This mobile lift is slightly more costly than a traditional stationary lift. Our facility does not have the space needed for the layout to utilize a stationary lift, so we're requesting to purchase a mobile lift. This mobile lift can be moved to the vehicle, then moved out of the way when not in use. This lift will allow us to complete work at our facility and not have to send the vehicles out, reducing cost as well as out of service time. My staff are trained and able to do the work. We just need to get the vehicle off the ground. Pending any questions, I respectfully request passage of this resolution.
Armored cars? Oh, yeah, that's right. With the sheriff.
Yeah, we have two.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. I was like, wow, okay. All right, if there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 810-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 810-20 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's go ahead and insert the sheriff here so I don't forget.
Mr. Smith, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Great, thank you. Resolution number 797-20. Resolution supporting the Sheriff's Office to continue as lead agency in the countywide DUI task force and the approval of contracts with 19 member agencies participating on the countywide DUI task force in the amount of $224,754.02. Mr. Smith?
You're muted.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me? My computer's internet connection here at home is a little flaky this morning.
We can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about being tardy. My name's Albert Smith, and I'm the Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. This resolution supports the Sheriff's Office to continue as a lead agency for the countywide DUI task force in order to help reduce alcohol-related traffic accidents through sobriety checkpoints and saturation patrols. Duties will include administration, implementation, and oversight of $224,754.02, a grant offered by the Ohio Department of Public Safety. Pending any questions, we request passage of this resolution.
Number was that again? I lost the place on the which we went back.
We're at 797-20, Commissioner.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 797-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 797-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. All right, Vivian, sorry. Although we're back to you now. Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 811-20. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with Action for Children for quality early learning childcare services in the amount of $325,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. Under this agreement, Action for Children will provide recruitment, training, and ongoing technical assistance for individuals looking to become state licensed family child care providers. In addition to providing mandatory core training classes to obtain a license, Action for Children will also continue to offer training and technical assistance to providers pursuing Step Up to Quality star ratings. Along with supporting child care providers, Action for Children will also continue to maintain a database of early childhood learning programs and openings and offer child care linkages services to parents. Utilizing a hub approach, they assist and connect parents with their search for quality early learning child care programs. Over the upcoming contract period, Action for Children will pre-screen and link up to 550 families to high-quality early learning programs. They will also offer group and one-on-one childcare information and instructions and resources on how to choose appropriate childcare. This resolution supports goal number 11 of the Rise Together Blueprint, increasing the number of children at or near the poverty level experiencing academic success. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 811-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 811-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 812-20. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with I Know I Can for career and college readiness programming in the amount of $574,965.73.
Commissioners, I Know I Can College and Career Advising Expansion Model places full-time college career experts in high schools with the goal of ensuring every student is prepared and has the ability to enroll in college and or enter a career after graduating. Under the last contract, I Know I Can provided college and career advising to more than 5,900 students at Central Crossing, Franklin Heights, Grove City, Westland, and Whitehall Yearlings High Schools. Under this new award, I Know I Can will utilize a blended model of in-person and virtual advising for an estimated 5,700 high school students in Grove City, Whitehall, and Southwestern school districts. I Know I Can will take a triaged approach to service delivery, prioritizing services that increase the number of 11th and 12th grade students ready for college or vocational credentials. They will also layer in early awareness services for students in grades 9 through 10 to enhance aspirations through career exploration, knowledge of college admission requirements, and exposure to planning for post-secondary costs. The program also supports goal number 11 of the Rise Together Blueprint to reduce poverty, increasing the number of students at or near the poverty level experiencing academic success. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
I will move for passage of 812-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 812-20 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention. Resolution number 813-20. Resolution approving subaward agreements with multiple community agencies for Franklin County out-of-school time youth programs in the amount of $1,058,661.
Commissioners, our number one priority for out-of-school time programming is to ensure safe, enriching environments for young people, their families, as well as their hundreds of staff members. Instead of the traditional after-school program, FCDJFS will support on-site, full-day youth programming for students enrolled in online classes or the hybrid instructional models. These out-of-school time programs or learning extension centers will provide TANF-eligible youth ages 5 through 13 a safe place to attend virtual classes with their parent while their parents are working or pursuing their education. In addition to providing access to the internet and additional academic support, they will also incorporate trauma-informed care techniques and social-emotional learning into programming. These are just 5 of the 21 agencies that we will fund to provide full-day on-site learning extension centers. Together, Gladden, Central Community House, Directions for Youth and Families, the Homeless Families Foundation, and St. Stephen's Community Center will serve more than 250 students throughout the course of the 2020-21 school year. This resolution also supports goal number 11 of the Rise Together Blueprint, increasing the number of students at or below the poverty level experiencing academic success. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, Move for adoption of 813-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 813-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners. And I would say I would be remiss if I didn't say that I am so proud to be a part of this team and the fact that you all made racial equity a core principle this morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vivian.
Thanks for your work.
Sanitary engineering.
Resolution number 814-20, resolution authorizing a final contract modification with Linalco Incorporated to close out the Darby Grinder Pump Station Improvements Project in the amount of $178,820.70.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. The first resolution, one of two in front of you, is to close out our Darby Grinder Pump Station Improvement Project with Linalco. Earlier this year, March 10, 2020, you contracted with Linalco via Resolution 165-20 to provide labor, materials, and equipment to improve the 23 grinder pump stations that the Sanitary Engineer owns and operates down in Darbydale, Ohio. To date, all work has been completed and to the high satisfaction of the Sanitary Engineer. The final cost of the project is $2,100, approximately less than the contracted amount of $180,984, with the final contract value being $178,820.70. The Sanitary Engineer at this time wishes to adjust the final value of the contract to close out the project. Pending any questions or comments, we request the passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 814-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 814-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 815-20, resolution authorizing an agreement between the Department of Sanitary Engineering and property owners for financial assistance with sanitary sewer connections in the Moneyback and Brown Road East service areas, Round 1.
Second resolution before you is to finalize the agreements with the homeowners who have qualified for the assistance program in our Moneyback and Brown Road East service areas. In November of 2017, the project known as Moneyback and Brown Road East sewer rectification / completion effort was completed. Following completion, letters were sent to residences requiring connection by December 20th, 2019. At that time, full financial assistance was available to all property owners that qualified, and the qualification requirements followed water quality protocols that were set in place by Economic Development and Planning. We received a total of 133 applications for Round 1. Of those 133, 87 were approved. Of those 87, 70 have moved forward with the connection process in Round 1. Financial assistance to these homeowners is in the form of a mortgage that is put against the property as a lien and forgiven after 10 years if the resident stays there. If the property is sold, it is prorated on a yearly basis. Through RFP 2018-09-36, Ohio Basement Authority, now known as Groundworks Ohio, was selected as the lowest and best contractor to perform the work on these connections. Funding was secured in December of 2019 from the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund that is jointly administered by the Ohio EPA and the Ohio Water Development Authority. The entire cost is estimated to be $934,516.80. In addition, the Sanitary Engineer is requesting that the County Administrator can sign and execute each of the 70 agreements on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. Pending any questions or comments, we request the passage of this resolution.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 815-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 815-20 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
All right, now to community partnerships.
Resolution number 816-20, resolution authorizing a contract amendment with the United Way of Central Ohio in the amount of $267,386.32.
Morning, Dana.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary,
Morning.
Administrator for Community Partnerships. On March 31st, 2020, the Board of Commissioners invested $250,000 in the United Way's Community Response Fund, which was matched by private donors to reach $375,000. Funds through the Community Response Fund were used to increase access to food, childcare, household essentials, and just keep funding to keep the community's safety net strong. This amendment will provide additional funding for that effort, as well as fund the county's portion of the administrative and technical support that was provided through the Resilience Initiative RFP grant award and reporting process. So pending any questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
No comments or questions. Move for adoption of 816-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 816-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 817-20, resolution authorizing a contract amendment with the Center for Science and Industry in the amount of $375,000.
Commissioners, this resolution will allow us to expand the very, very successful Learning Lunchbox program through the end of this year. This program has received an award by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, the Community Arts Innovation Award. It has just received really positive feedback from the community and shown some very positive results. Joining me this morning is Stephen White. He's with COSI, and we have worked together closely to bring this program to fruition. As you know, the Board of Commissioners is a major supporter of this program. So at this time, I invite Stephen White to please share a few words about what this additional funding will enable COSI to do.
Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you very much, Administrator McCreary, for that introduction and overview. Thank you also, President O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown, for allowing me to say a few words this morning about our partnership to serve families in Franklin County during this pandemic. Our President and CEO, Dr. Frederick Bertley, extends his sincere apologies for not being able to join us this morning, but he and I, as well as the entire COSI team, want to thank you for your steadfast leadership to help our county and our residents through this unprecedented moment. We also want to thank Administrator Wilson and Dana for their leadership in helping us to create a program that is providing critical distance learning to underserved youth in our county when it's needed the most. As you may know, the vision and mission of COSI is to engage, inspire, and transform by being the best partner in science, technology, and industry learning. And although our physical doors remain closed, our community doors are wide open. And we have been honored to lean in during this crisis to help the vulnerable in our community. COSI is thankful to continue our partnership with the county to deliver diligently throughout this pandemic around the vital need of learning, while also supporting other critical human services. As you know, the Franklin County Distance Learning Initiative and the Learning Lunchbox program is a bold program, and it's leading the way by providing free digital learning resources to thousands of Franklin County residents on a daily basis, as well as delivering tools that help bridge the digital divide, like a free mobile app. It also includes a physical component called Learning Lunchboxes, which provides weekly content through a STEM kit. The program was launched in July with the idea of delivering these learning lunchboxes in a socially distant manner alongside meal providers like the Children's Hunger Alliance. So when families pick up their food, They also pick up their learning for the week. So in other words, we fed hungry lives and we fed hungry minds. We have since expanded this program to deliver these kits to other nonprofits, such as in other entities, such as the Franklin County Children's Services to help with family bonding for foster youth, the Columbus Boys and Girls Club to facilitate after-school learning, St. Stephen's Community Center to provide learning to families who are facing challenges related to housing, Alvis House and Amethyst to support moms in their healing with their children in recovery, schools and teachers throughout the county with free and reduced lunch and more. We're thankful for the members of this distinguished body who were able to help us serve on the front lines during the summer our underserved youth and families. Combined, our partnership has already impacted over 15,000 county residents, and we look forward to continuing this program to impact thousands more with critical learning services, as well as we work together to this next surge of this pandemic. This will allow us to continue to serve with our other brothers and sister organizations and nonprofits, because we believe that education is the great equalizer and a key to overcoming poverty. We're all in this together, and together we are working to not only address societal inequities, and I must say that we applaud your outstanding leadership today in addressing racial inequities, as well as the Rise Together blueprint that you have put into action throughout the community. And we're also here to help work with you and partner with you to address vital distance learning and this county's commitment to serve every resident every day. So we thank you for your continued partnership and support, and I would be happy to take any questions you might have.
Stephen, have you gotten any feedback on those science kits that you've given out, and what has that feedback been?
Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioner Brown. We have received a number of feedback, both qualitative and quantitative data, and the feedback has been tremendous. The anecdotal feedback is that these kits are helping these youth learn in a time where the pandemic has required them to do blended learning or sometimes full virtual learning. And so what the youth are doing is that because the activities are aligned directly to Ohio learning standards, it's enabling them to continue to learn beyond just simply staring at a screen for 8 hours a day, but to break up that time with hands-on learning that's increasing their ability to do that. So feedback has been not only exciting as it relates to the learning, but then also the excitement related to the hands-on that accompanies with that. So we make it fun and we make it engaging.
That's great.
Commissioners, I'd like to add that this initiative, the Learning Lunchbox program, is really an embodiment of the community partnership program, the partnership that we have with COSI, and then the way that they disseminate the Learning Lunchbox into the community really just magnifies the Board of Commissioners' reach and ability to increase educational opportunities in the community.
Well, I had talked to some children that got the Learning Lunchbox that we had given out this summer, and they had gotten the meal and they had gotten the kits, and they were so excited about the kits, the science kits, and they couldn't wait to get home to do the science kits with their parents. And I wondered how that was going to go, and I obviously didn't hear back. And so I was very curious how that was going to go and how that would work. And I was excited that the kids were very excited about it as they got those kits.
So, Stephen, remember I brought my 17-year-old with me that day, and he's an engineering student in high school, and he wants to study engineering in college. And I brought it home to my 12-year-old daughter, who was very interested. So the nice thing about it is, it's not often that a 17-year-old and a 12-year-old get along the way that they did over this project. They generally like to pick at each other and fight with each other a lot. So they worked well together. And being that he's a 17-year-old engineering student, I'm not sure that the project was supposed to work the way that it did. It was pretty successful. So, it was a lot of fun though, as a parent, to be able to watch. They get along sporadically. As you can imagine, a 17-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl will. They mostly get on each other's nerves, and they have different interests. And a 12-year-old can be annoying to a 17-year-old, and a 17-year-old can be annoying to a 12-year-old. But that day, they worked together marvelously and had a lot of fun together. And it was really interesting to see him kind of take her under his wing, in the project, and then it was very successful to see the project come off the way it did too. So it was a lot of fun.
Commissioner Brady, great to hear that, and that's exactly how we design the activities, is to be intended for families to really do the activities together to help with that family bonding in the middle of this environment, providing some fun in addition to the learning atmosphere. So glad to hear that was the reaction that they received. And candidly, that's what we're seeing across the board as it relates to these kids, both when they're being served in foster youth at Franklin County Children's Services, but also in the school setting and the at-home setting. So I'm excited to hear that.
Well, they have percussion in common. They're both drummers, but a 17-year-old who's annoyed by her TikTok and her softball, and a 12-year-old who's annoyed by his video games and his friends, it brought them together. So that was pretty cool.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 817-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 817-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right. Human Resources.
Resolution number 818-20. Resolution authorizing a supplemental contract with New Horizons Computer Learning Center for the purpose of providing employee development training in the amount of $150,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Humera Kakar, representing Department of Human Resources, with a supplemental contract with New Horizons Computer Learning Center for the purpose of providing employee development training. They have been providing training for Franklin County employees since 2017. And with their new approach, we were able to expand the depth of our training and increasing the training numbers significantly. In 2020, we were able to switch to a complete virtual format due to COVID-19 pandemic in a very short time frame with New Horizons assistance. This supplemental contract would run for 3 years, and it will provide 100 training sessions per year with a cost savings of at least $25,000 annually. Pending any questions, I would respectfully ask for the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 818-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 818-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
All right, to purchasing.
Resolution number 819-20. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,245,166.23.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry-Valinier, Director of Purchasing. This resolution requests your approval of 89 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. This week, 11 out of 15 eligible POs totaling $162,489.36 are being presented for award to 8 women business enterprises, 1 minority business enterprise, and 2 small and emerging business enterprises. This represents 73% of the eligible PO volume and 72% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 819-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 819-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right. To the Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 820-20, resolution authorizing a transfer of funds for the payment of debt service.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Zach Tularic with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution would authorize transfers of funds of approximately $8.2 million for the payment of the county's December 1st debt service payment. Of that amount, approximately $7.6 million is from the county's general fund. The total debt service payment for December 1st totals just under $15.2 million and includes $5.3 million that was withheld in January by the trustee for the sales tax back bonds. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Hey, Zach, are there any changes in terms of our debt schedule that have been impacted by the economic environment? So
not on our debt.
So we're on schedule. This is important because so we're on schedule and within our normal debt schedule, and none of that has been. We've not had to trigger any kind of additional actions that might have to keep up on our debt service payment.
Correct. We've not had to do any restructurings of the kind. We've been able to meet our debt service obligations that were required without any further action.
That's outstanding. Keep me posted. I'm going to ask some of those same questions during the budget process because I'm more thinking about what this first and second quarter of next year is going to look like, after this year is sort of reconciled and what that means. So this is good news and good action, but let's I think it'll be healthy for us to be talking about it during our upcoming budget hearing. So just be ready for that. Are there any further comments or questions? If no, move for adoption of Resolution 820-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 820-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 821-20. Resolution authorizing non-general fund appropriation adjustments for the provision and maintenance of zoological park services and facilities.
Commissioners, this resolution would authorize appropriation adjustments totaling $231,540 to make the final payment to the Columbus Zoo from the zoological park levy. Approximately $135,000 is related to higher than anticipated revenue, while the remaining $97,000 is for transfers that for levy collection expenses that were not utilized that can be transferred to grants. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 821-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 821-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Resolution number 822-20. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to enter into a contract with the City of Columbus Department of Technology for the provision of media services in the amount of $48,900.21.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tyler Lowry, Director of Public Affairs. This resolution is a renewal of our annual contract with the City of Columbus's Division of Technology and their CTV television station. As you know, we contract with CTV to do video production and to broadcast your weekly general session meetings and yearly budget hearings. So this contract is for 2020, and it is for an amount not to exceed $48,900.21, and it will allow us to live stream the meetings online as well as to have them broadcast over the air on television at least 4 times per week. Happy to answer any questions you may have, and we recommend your approval of this resolution.
This resolution has become even more important than normally because of COVID-19, so definitely.
Absolutely.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 822-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 822-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 823-20. Resolution appointing Nicole Neal to the Workforce Development Board pursuant to the requirements of the Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act of 2015.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. Ms. Needler is the Senior Vice President and the Learning Solutions Director at Huntington National Bank. Pending any questions, would recommend approval of this appointment.
I need to abstain on this. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll move for approval of 8/23/20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 823-20 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you.
Resolution number 824-20. Resolution appointing the initial Board of Trustees for the Rise Together Innovation Center.
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, this is a resolution to appoint just an initial Board of Trustees for the Rise Together Innovation Center. When you created the Leadership Council last year, they were tasked with providing long-term recommendations and short-term recommendations for the structure for the Innovation Center, the entity that's responsible for really driving the work of the blueprint. In the short term, they advised to designate a fiscal sponsor, and you approved that as the United Way. And then long term, they are looking to file to create a 501c3 nonprofit for the Innovation Center. And the proposed articles of incorporation for that, which were approved on by that Leadership Council, called for the appointment of an initial Board of Trustees. The initial board is going to be responsible just for managing the direction of the Innovation Center until their respective successors have been duly elected and qualified. This calls for the appointment of 13 individuals. 11 of them are included on this. Sandy Doyle Ahern from EMH&T, Trudy Bartley from Ohio State, Michael Corey from the Human Services Chamber, Dr. Dixon from Columbus City Schools, Carla Williams Scott from the Columbus Department of Neighborhoods, Terry Green of Think, Make, Live Youth, and Matt Habash from the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, President David Harrison of Columbus State, Joanna Pinkerton at CODA, Guadalupe Velasquez from Welcoming Cities, and Nana Watson from your NAACP. We will be bringing another resolution this week that should be briefed on Thursday that will appoint the final 2 members of that who are now confirmed.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 824-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 824-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right. Clerk Endenlang, do we have any journalizations today?
We do not, Commissioner.
Okay, well, that concludes the agenda for today. So if there's no other business, Mr. Hopkins, do you have anything for the board?
Good morning, Commissioners. No questions for the board. Just want to say, Commissioner Boyce, happy to hear of your full recovery. We kind of undermine the effects of COVID-19, so I'm happy to hear that. But otherwise, I'm nice hearing from you all, and thank you.
Thanks, Earl. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, good. We have a few folks this morning that are recovering nicely from COVID-19. Kevin, it's good to see you're doing well. We have a couple of other folks on the video conference this morning that are doing well. It's good to see everybody's back. This is a time to say everybody needs to really be doubly careful. The numbers have increased dramatically over the last few weeks, but by all accounts, they're probably going to continue to increase dramatically. And I know the governor has an announcement this afternoon. Based on whatever the governor says this afternoon, we'll likely have an announcement ourselves, along with the city of Columbus. And so it's just a good time right now for everybody on this call to encourage everybody they know to really be doubly careful. Continue to wear your mask, continue to stay distant from folks, continue to wash your hands. If there's no reason to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. If there's no reason to leave your house, don't leave your house. And and stay ever vigilant right now, because Commissioner Boyce will tell you, I talked to him, texted with him, talked to him last week. It's no joke. You were pretty sick last week, dude. So it's no time to play around with this stuff. So
too many people we know have it or are getting it, and it's too scary. This is not the time to let our guard down. We have to be safe.
Over the months, we've talked to a lot of folks who have said, I don't know anybody that's had it, or, I don't know much about it. Well, I can tell you right now, I'm sure that the three of us and most of us in county government know a lot more people than most who have either had it or have suffered from it or have had somebody die from it. We know a lot of people that have been impacted by this, more than most probably. We know a lot of people on this call who've had family members that have suffered from it, family members that have died from it. And the Franklin County family's been impacted greatly. So when people say, well, I don't really know anybody that's been impacted, well, we know. And it's nothing to be messed with.
Yeah, I would just add, I think you hit the nail on the head. If you can stay home and work from home. I'm masked up all the time, use a lot of hand sanitizer, and I have really no idea where I would have picked it up. My doctor said, you just never know. You could have opened a doorknob and then scratched your chin or something, or rubbed your eye or something, and you just don't know. But I will tell you this, I probably have a good 10 to 15 marathons under my belt, and you think I was in a pretty good health condition, and it was nearly unbearable, the effect that it had on my lungs and my ability to breathe. So stay safe, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a real good warning right there.
That's Kevin. I think that message needs to get out in the community in which you are a part, because that's where people need to hear it the most. It's an important message, and you are younger and healthy and in good shape, and that's a message that needs to get heard. It's really important message. You are so healthy and you're in good shape, and look at how sick you got. And that's no joke. It's real, and it can really put you down. And I think it's important message. And I am so sorry you got so sick.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.